fucking hate this game. What's up, everyone? It's the Broke Gamer here, and today I wanted to talk about a game that's coming out next year. As you can see, I'm playing Resident Evil 6, and, well, let's just say that I'm not particularly fond of this game. The reason why, actually, is just because, well, this isn't Resident Evil. It's an action game. And to me, personally, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not what Resident Evil is. And with the release of Resident Evil 7 coming out, I just went and look at Resident Evil 6, As I'm playing throughout the game, I realized that Capcom kind of strayed away from its original formula. And I know with particular reason, you never want to stick with something that can get old. I mean, you have Call of Duty, and let's be honest, that's pretty old. But what I see with Resident Evil 7 is that it's not necessarily going back to its original roots. It's using something new, but not something that it's particularly known for having. With that being said, I do believe that the new perspective that they're bringing to Resident Evil 7 will allow it to be a really fun game. Now, I know if for those who played the demo did seem a bit, well, to me at least, a bit boring. It didn't really scare me as much. And I don't want to compare it to PT, although that is the route that it's going into. I didn't really get really scared of the game. I don't know if that was the purpose or not, but it leaves me kind of worried. And the reason I say that is because, well, like, if you have a game that is entirely in first person, like you have Outlast, Alien Isolation, you had PT, right? Those games are all pretty scary. But after a while, it becomes kind of frustrating when, you really can't see anything. I know that's the purpose of the game, but after a while, it does become frustrating. And that does worry me about Resident Evil 7. Now, I don't think that the game's going to be bad or anything, but I don't want to get bored of playing it. It depends on a lot of factors here. How long it is, well, what new things are going to be available to you. From playing the demo, you only had a pistol and an axe to work with. And you didn't really use it for anything besides doing a puzzle in the game. I don't want to spoil anything for those that didn't get a chance to play it, but it was a creative way of presenting the new Resident Evil game. But I don't necessarily think that it's something that should stick. I do believe with the new Resident Evil game coming out, I think it's a cool thing that they are using this new approach to the series. But I think for future installments, if this game does really well, they shouldn't go back to it because I think it's going to make it stale. Just like with Resident Evil 1 through 3, they all stuck with the same formula with having very, very stiff controls, being in a confined space, and dealing with your situations in a manner that makes you think on your feet. Resident Evil 4 kind of strayed away from it, having more of the action-y side of it. Not so much. It still had the same feeling as the original 3. Resident Evil 5, I don't even want to talk about that game because that was just bad. I don't even know why that game was even made. And then Resident Evil 6, like, there's concepts in here that are really good. But then again, it doesn't follow through with what it wants to be, You get to play 4 different stories, all with different quote-unquote gameplay styles. You have Chris, whose story, as you can see here, is very action-y. You have Leon, who's a little bit more on the horror side. You have Jake, who's still like in the action side of the gameplay. And then you have Ada Wong, which is basically the same thing. But I do think that with Resident Evil 7, the game's going to be fun. And I hope it does really well because I want the series to continue on. It's one of my favorite franchises that's been around since I was a younger person. And I think that with its new iteration, it can spawn different developers out there to create something like this. I know PT already had done this with the new, well, then canceled Allison Road. But, with Resident Evil 7 coming out, it makes it seem like this is going to be a pretty mainstream formula. It worries me, but at the same time, I think it's cool. Well, with all that being said, I really think that Resident Evil 7 is going to I wouldn't say live up to its hype, but it can spawn a new fan base. It desperately needs it, just like a numerous amount of other games out there right now. But with the new year coming up, I just figured, hey, why don't I just play Resident Evil 6? I got a chance to play the demo for Resident Evil 7. I was actually able also to finish the puzzle in the game, and I'm not going to say I'm disappointed with it, but let's just say you get a nice little piece of DLC in the full game. Well, if any of this really convinces you to try out the Resident Evil 7 demo, it's available right now on PC on Steam, Xbox One, and PS4. I know PS4 users were able to play 3 phases of the demo, but the demo that just released now is the full demo, so you'll be able to complete all the puzzles in the game without any confusion or anything. Well, guys, thanks for watching. This is the Broke Gamer, and I hope you guys all have a happy new year.